All right, let's see. Let's make sure that this guy's going to load this time. Sorry for the very slight delay. Hello, everybody. This is the Spirit Guide Monthly for the month of December 2022. We have to wait, as always, for this to launch and for me to cancel out the volume on YouTube. Wow, was November ever a lot of fun. I'm spending a little bit of time on the piles today. There's also, of course, a thumbnail on the video description that if you want a higher resolution capture, then you can concentrate on those. But pause, take a moment. Piles 1 through 4, y'all know the drill. I hope that you had as much fun in November as I did. Let's go on. The hammer's going up. And this is the part of the broadcast where we see how far did I miss on getting it into alignment. Hello, everybody. I spent the Day of the Dead in a haunted hotel in Grass Valley, California, and just had more fun than people are allowed to have, I think. It really was a very fun adventure. Some channel news. Wait, I'm on camera. I'll talk to you about that. There we go. There's pile number 2. All right, doing the housekeeping. I hope everybody had a very good, I kind of want to say meeting with their ancestors, because we did just come out of the time when the veil is thinnest. And I did so much work on releasing ancestral curses and releasing relationships that no longer serve us. I was doing a demonic entity removal that like 5 different people felt the other day, which was a little bit upsetting for them because it caused them a trigger, but they were able to handle it. And we got to see if I can get this guy adjusted. Gosh darn it. The whole thing where it's not in real time for me, I have to wait 10 seconds to see if I've gotten it right. Here we go. Sorry for the delays. As usual, timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Did I make it worse or did I make it better? Shoot. The only problem with this very long delay is that it's really hard to get. We're going to have to see how that looks. I should probably shorten the delay on the feed. Well, it looks like we're at sea and we're listing far, far, far to one side or another. There's my head. Hi, everybody. All right, guys, we're leaving it there. Hopefully that will be good enough. It's really not. It's really not. Well, it's going to be a little bit lopsided this month, guys. I don't want to waste all of your time adjusting on the camera. So for pile number 1, we have the crystal deck, and it's going to be bringing you your predictive cards. I've got a bunch, as usual, of pre-selected oracle cards. We're going to put this out and hopefully have it in the frame the entire time. All right. So I went to Grass Valley, California, which is where I'm thinking of relocating to, and spent the night in a hotel that was built in 1865. And it was billed as being haunted, but I didn't take it too seriously. I should have taken it seriously. It was a lot of fun. And I have some channel announcements as well. In addition to the daily spirit guide, the spirit guide daily, the daily guidance draws. In December, love draws will start as well, the daily love draws. So look for those as well. All right, guys, let's get going for pile number 1. Please remember timestamps edited in after the broadcast. And for those of you in the US, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday weekend. I assume I'm here by myself because everybody else is out shopping. All right, we have Invisible from the House of the Night Tarot. I have so many decks, it is almost impossible to remember them sometimes. This is an interesting card because sometimes it can be that feeling of being left out, of being on the outside. As we've healed old things, new things are coming in for us, essentially. Like our new perspectives bring new beginnings. In order to receive, we have to release that which does not serve us, and we all have to do that work. As I said, I've completed all of the work that I've been doing for releasing ancestral curses. It went really, really well. All of my draws afterwards have indicated that if you've been doing the work, then you have the energetic, I kind of want to say foundation, for you to release whatever is attached to you as well. Don't forget, this is the angel answer. This is the cookie card. The premise behind this is if you have a question I did not answer throughout the course of this, hopefully this will. But the invisible thing can be kind of that feeling of looking at life through some like a glass, almost as if you there's a barrier between you and everything. But it can also be that feeling of taking a greater perspective in order to understand somebody else's perspective. I actually had a really interesting like lesson in perspective on interpreting cards. I'm getting the same card set over and over and over and over again. I thought I knew what they meant, and I didn't. I found out like 3 days ago that it's like, oh, if I had been looking at it as things to remember if you like to read and you do draws for yourself, is do not think of it as the things that will be happening to you, but the cards are telling you what will be around you and affecting you. And it's ever so slightly different. Meaning that if you pull like a financial constraint card, it doesn't mean you will experience it, but that somebody else may be motivated in your life by that. All right, here we go. The Finch and the Peach, romance. Well, good for you. Invisible in romance, though. Once you're healed, particularly if you've had a series of unsatisfying or damaging or toxic or traumatic relationships, it is a healthy energy to question, where does this belong in my life? What has this done for me in the past? So maybe I should prioritize my own journey. If I meet the right person, yay. And if I don't, that's okay, because I'm here for my journey. That can be a very healthy perspective. If you're in a perspective of why would I ever do that to myself again, and you're just trying to hide from the world, please examine that, simply because it means you have some fear to heal. It doesn't mean you have to have relationships you don't want to. What it means is that you're making a decision based in fear. And when we make our decisions based in fear, it actually does impede what can manifest around us, what can come to us, and what avenues and roads can open up to us. Because our lives are a series of crossroads in which we are given an opportunity to choose one direction or another. And it's not permanent. It will kind of circle back to us. And it's like, are you sure you don't want to go on this path? Are you sure you don't want to go on this path? Over and over again, particularly if it's something that's a fateful occurrence. Still sick. Actually newly sick. I think my son and I were talking about it yesterday. We both have these weird mild cold symptoms that it's like, wow, I'm not super sick, but I'm just sick enough to know that I'm sick. Anyway, the idea that we are blocking out things because of past damage is like not trusting yourself, and you can't manifest fully if you don't have full faith in yourself. And please remember, when you get these messages, it is not about the core, like, you have to have relationships, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's what the place that you're deciding this from is a fear-based place. And if you still want to decide that exact same thing from I'm healthy, I'm happy, no, I'm just like, that part didn't really serve me, so I'm going to invest in some other things and just make my life because, like, quite frankly, we get sold a little bit of a bill of goods as women sometimes, not trying to be gendered, but it is like genuinely, women are really socialized to kind of prize romantic love. And quite frankly, in most societies, men are not, which leaves us in an unbalanced state. So try to come up to valuing your life, your journey, your career, your dreams, your pursuits, whatever they may be, on an equal level with, don't try to find your person, make everything else happen. Make everything else happen, and the right person comes to you. That's basically the point. All right, a mentor. Light attribute is passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. And the shadow attribute is inability to allow the student to move along to the role of master, imparting false instruction. Remember, these are the shadow aspects and the different energies that may be entering your life throughout Sagittarius season. It just was the new moon in Sagittarius. And one of the things that I always have to accept when I'm working with people is that there comes a time where, like, they should evolve past me to be able to trust their own judgment. I may only see them once or twice a year, if that. And that has to be okay, because that's the goal of a relationship in which you're trying to help people heal, is that they will heal, become stronger, and be able to go forth on their independent path. Oh, wow. Virgin was just in reverse. So clearly the shadow attribute is the thing I should. Oh, fear of intimate union. I do not look at these beforehand. And I swear I just went on a great big, blah, 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 about not making your choices based in fear. When it comes to that, make them from a place of confidence of, this is what I feel drawn to right now. There's a time for that, but it doesn't feel like right now. But if you're making a choice around a relationship that is based in, I would never let somebody hurt me that much again, that's fear-based. It's fear-based. I won't let somebody in because I don't want to risk being hurt again. I have and again, you really can choose to be like, there's just no room in my life for that right now. And if you're deciding from there, yay. If you're deciding from because like I've lost the person who will always be my greatest person, it's, trust the divine to bring you what is meant for you, and just be receptive to it. That's the main message. The light attribute is maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Remember, when you have good intentions, your magic is like, and your manifestations land with a great big boom. Purity of intent brings greater and greater results. And we're human beings. We'll always have a little bit we're always going to be slightly muddied by that. But try to be the best version of you that you can be. Be kind, be compassionate, be accepting of each other. Try to be forgiving of other people as well. Release resentment wherever you can, because it holds you back more than it impacts the person you are resenting. What else we have? We have go for your dreams. Fear holds us back on almost every known level. Fear of failure keeps us from continuing to try. Another channel announcement, like Devin and I are starting to record our podcast next week. Is it frightening? Yes, because neither of us have ever done it, but it's also really fun and it's exciting. And you have to be willing to try things, even knowing that like, well, what if it doesn't work out? And it's like, well, at least I'll have learned a whole bunch about podcasting and maybe it'll come in at a different point. You have to be willing when you start something to know that your worth is not defined by its success or failure, but that everything is a learning experience. And then I have practice moderation. That is because I have a form of trauma a form of OCD that is based in trauma. I can wear a groove into the universe doing the same thing over and over again, like eating the same meals. I'm really bad about that because I share over and over again. Don't have a good relationship to food, frequently don't want to eat. Practicing moderation means also allowing variation, and don't do things to excess. Anything that is an extreme belief that is encompassing almost all of your energy holds so many things back. Moderation is also the key to manifestation, and that is in all areas. And it's particularly true of substances. And once again, I'm going to plug hey, cannabis is fine, but please don't drink if you're trying to manifest, because it is something that lowers your vibration. And it doesn't mean you have to be a teetotaler. It's just around any manifestation rituals, you want to make sure that you have clear energy. So like 72 hours beforehand, do a detox and then do a spell. Why? Because the energy that you are in when you are trying to manifest something impacts and influences the results. I have exchanging gifts, which is when you possess a gift, you are meant to share it from others, but you're also meant to receive. A lot of people who consider themselves empaths, who are psychic, who are frequently have had a difficult path due to trauma, like to give because they feel like they have to earn somebody's admiration and the worth in that person's eyes. Be comfortable with receiving as well. Okay. I also have by the book, which was in reverse, which I don't read them in reverse, but when I get exchanging gifts and by the book, remember there is always room for your personal expression in whatever you're doing. Don't try to do things as others do. Learn how something may be done and then put your personal style to it. And then I have relaxation. Do not think that we are just here to toil. Every time somebody hears life's purpose, they confuse it with life's profession. Life's purpose is you find what you're meant to do here to bring your energy to the highest evolution that it can be, to the highest level it can be. And it is not about success, is not just money. It is enjoying all aspects of life. It is enjoying your downtime. It is treating yourself with enough respect to understand that bodies need rest. We need care. It is not weak. It is not weak to need to rest. Treat yourself with respect if you wish to be treated with respect. Let's get going with the Crystal Tarot to see what December 2022 is bringing for the collective. What's December 22? Oh, I've got some people here. I could have sworn everybody would be out shopping. Okay, here we go. What do we got for December 2022? Remember, guys, I can't really interact very much with chatters because I don't have my glasses on right now. And why do I do that? In general reads, I've just found that I get better clarity on the cards. When people get personal readings with me, I always have them on because I get to focus on one person. There we go. Woo, what did we just get? 8 of Swords in the upright. Boy, that is allowing doubts to hold you back. Remember, most of the things that hold us back are within our ability to choose to set it aside, because it's almost always the past. The Eight of Swords is a card of doubt, mostly, of self-criticism, of not being willing to see paths forward if it doesn't fit. Okay, this is going to be the easiest way to put it. When I first started out after like this very, very traumatic, like end of a marriage, it was a varied thing. We had good times, we had bad times, but towards the end, it was just all bad and it was all me having it. What I thought would be success for me has entirely changed from that level of insanely traumatized to now very, very healthy. And it's like what I thought I wanted at the beginning of this is not what I want now. Things change. Allow yourself to be receptive to the idea that you can start down a path and it can expand and it can grow. Don't get tunnel vision, because that's another meaning of the Eight of Swords. And it can be that feeling of being trapped. And I've got that invisible card as well. Honest to goodness, it's a card of the person holding you back the most is you. And that's the Querent card, but I think you're moving forward. I think that as you heal, the past becomes less important than the present, and the future isn't something that's threatening, it's full of possibility. I have that with the Ten of Pentacles in the upright, which is that wonderful kind of, it's a very financially secure energy. It is the card of scheduling. It's the card of appointments. It's the card of real estate contracts. It's the card of basically things paying off. It is also the card of life partners sometimes, but it's a card of security in a family. It's like you're holding yourself, or let's get a couple more cards down, because what just came back is like releasing. That comes out with the Four of Cups in reverse, which is something happening behind the scenes, sometimes being haunted by something, sometimes quite literally. Beg your pardon, I gotta go it again. Underlying issues, sometimes, particularly from childhood, sometimes cause you to doubt your own abilities. Remember, you actually, particularly if you have done the work to release ancestral curses, those were really one of the things that were holding you back. If you have changed, your whole energy has changed. Remember that card. I have the Page of Cups in reverse in the recent past, which is kind of a surprise sometimes. Sometimes it's an apology. Hey, listen, sometimes people can do us so wrong. And we get our hearts set on, like, if they would just acknowledge it, if they would just apologize. And sometimes you just have to accept that some people are choosing to go in a direction that is not serving their highest good, that they're choosing wrong for reasons of greed, of self-involvement, of, I guess what I'm saying is sometimes you may be looking for an apology from someone who's not capable of giving it. And so the only closure, the only freedom that you can achieve is choosing it. I have the Death card in reverse, which is freaky because that actually means closure. I have the Unknown card, which is the High Priestess card in this particular card. It's a little bit of a wild card as well, meaning the outcome. That's not what that means here. Knight of Pentacles in the upright. As you closed one door, another one opened. I've got things manifesting fairly quickly after a slow period. The Knight of Pentacles is that routine energy, that kind of plodding forward, the keep going, keep working at it. But the Unknown card here is like an increase in, I almost want to say, mystical abilities, the ability to feel as if you're in a constant dialogue with everything that is trying to help you forward, with your guides, your mentors. Our spirit guides are always working with our choices, not the other way around. Meaning that if stuff is going wrong, it can be the choice of other people, it can be our own choices, and our spirit guides are always up there trying to figure out how to help us get the best outcome. We get very caught in the how could you energy of like, how could you do this to me? And there's nothing they can do about that. Things play out in kind of energy signatures, meaning there's a ripple of energy caused by the actions taken by those people who have free will. And when we talk about generational curses, it's like, well, doesn't that impede energy? Absolutely. It can make energy turn a corner or like absolutely be inverted on people. But there's this very kind of, I think what I'm trying to say is things are going to be very up to you going forward. You're not influenced by anything from the past unless you're choosing to let it influence you. There's a very heavy crossroads around this, and not heavy like heavy energy, but like it's very much like you're free now, which means that you're the one steering this boat. You're the one who has the reins. They will always be here to help and guide you. And this unknown card is that whenever you're kind of searching for answers, you do have access to your guides, even if it does not work the way that you think it will, meaning that you meditate and you're like, and I got up and I didn't feel like anything had talked to me. It doesn't work quite like that for everybody. Every time you meditate, something happens. You get more guidance. Page of Pentacles in reverse can be about failing to learn a lesson, but it's an exterior energy. The Tower in reverse is a rock bottom energy and the hopes and fears. It's a fear of starting again, fear of like, well, that didn't work out, so I need to swerve and do something ever so slightly differently. With the Justice card in reverse, interesting. Why do we have an unbalanced situation there? That's the Libra card. King of Wands in the upright. Three of Cups in reverse. Oh. Don't accept relationships, either professional, friendship, or romantic, that don't fit what you hope for. Meaning, like, if somebody is like the person that you're like, wow, I find you really intriguing, I find you really I'm very drawn to you, but that person is like, hey, I only do open relationships, and you don't, take a pass. There's somebody else for you. Don't change your standards to try and get something that you think you want, because usually it's a sign, it's a red flag. I've just got a slight red flag around somebody's motives and something that they're offering you. I don't like the Three of Cups in reverse next to the King of Wands, because it's usually somebody who's got dubious intentions. I've got the Nine of Wands in reverse, clarifying that external energy. I have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, 2 threes in reverse. It's about individual power. It can be a little bit of an isolating energy. And then the Four of Wands in reverse. Interesting. That can be releasing relationships that aren't serving you. That can be that feeling of not standing on very firm ground. This is that external energy. Listen, there's still some things going on, and it was mild. It is that kind of like, skirmishes and dust up energy that we've had in the United States. It really is as if people in places of power have trouble understanding when the greater energy and the overall energy has changed, meaning that the momentum has shifted. And that's really what happened. The momentum shifted in November, and we're on a new path. We're taking, and that requires a new perspective. If you've changed, accept that maybe your dreams needed to change too. I have the High Priestess in reverse, which is something being made very clear. That's clarity. That's like things being revealed. Temperance in reverse, which is a card of healing and needing to continue to heal in some respects, with the Five of Swords in reverse, which is the end of a battle. It can be defeat. This is a little bit interesting. There's very little activity in your life in any capacity. Like the first month of December is very plodding, very slow, very not a great deal happening. It's a very good time to kind of concentrate on trying to connect to get your guidance going forward on your path. And we all have different paths, but we all have guidance available to us. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't try and force an issue to make something happen. Kind of take the lay of the land. And when things are slow, stop and do your inner work. And because we're always going to be we're always trying to evolve. So we're technically always trying to heal. This is a card of overcoming. Oh, good for you. Overcoming impatience too. This card combination is like, it's going to be, if you have always struggled with frustration and impatience, you've done enough healing to understand that it was always based in fear. that fears weren't good, like you had to get to the next thing because it felt like something was chasing you. If you're really in a healed and a peaceful energy, it is a rare set of circumstances that will make you be terribly impatient. Like usually there's not a lot at risk and not a lot at stake. If something takes a little longer than it's supposed to, then it's like, okay, well, I should probably enjoy the time that it's still trying to manifest. And this is for a collective of people who are trying to get things done, trying to make progress. And one of the hardest things to understand on a spiritual path is that our idea of progress and a spiritual idea of progress sometimes have never met. Because progress isn't getting to the next destination or reaching the next goal. It is becoming a better and better version of ourselves. As a, for instance, if you've been struggling with frustration and patience, then if you are becoming more and more patient, please view that as having achieved something that is particularly successful. Success does not always come with a dollar sign. And it's because of our society, we have a really hard time accepting that. If you feel healthier, if you feel happier, if you're more patient, if you're less reactive, if you're less likely to be triggered, guess what? You're succeeding. It's not just about money. And what happens, and if you're like, but we all need money to live. Truly we do, but it's getting you into the shape where things will come more easily to you, and that will come more easily as well. Try not to stress the pace of things. Just address what you're being asked to. And this is still a little bit of confront your doubts about yourself. You're afraid that the past will repeat. It won't. You have changed so many things. You have your temper and your ability to, because a lot of people who have been badly traumatized are reactive. And if you've done the work to become, kind of good at emotional regulation, that kind of responding, not reacting thing, take that as a victory, because it is. It is. Again, it doesn't just come with the sound of coins hitting a bank account. Success, victory, progress, abundance. If you feel better, if you're in your life right now, that is something getting better. If it doesn't, if you still don't have the amount of money you want, I need you to kind of think of something. Think of how you felt a year and a half ago. Like, where were you? What were you valuing? What was your emotional state like? Think back to before you reached this level of healing. I swear to you, if you had everything that you thought you wanted materially, you still wouldn't be happy, because your internal state could not process and retain happiness because you were unwell. You needed to heal something. You needed to deal with the negative things that were holding you back from feeling joy in your success. If you are largely healed, then as success comes to you, it will mean more and more. And again, healing is a form of success. Healing is the thing that makes everything possible. When I'm always talking about the law of attraction and like how it is taught in a way that is unlikely to bring long-lasting results, it's because the law of attraction tells you to ignore your negative emotions. It's a flaw in that. Heal your negative emotions. And that way they can't, because that energy will always be there until you deal with it. Deal with it, heal it, and then you release it. And then you're in the energy to manifest whatever you need. And that's what this is saying over here, is that you have reached that level of, listen, from here on in, you have open doors. But because you didn't get where you wanted to at the pace that you wanted to, I think you no longer believe that there are doors. And please listen to the part of you had to heal first so that you could walk a path and actually have it not be degraded by that dark energy, by that doubting energy, by that energy of fear. Because fear is the opposite energy of love. We think of it as hate. It's not. Fear is the opposite energy of love. And all things come to us very easily when we're in the energy of love. 5 of Cups in the upright, clarifying my Tower in reverse. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Remember, download codes are like that. One number in the upright, 1 in reverse means that is the energy of change. It's a new beginning energy. As you have a better perspective on all things in life passing, if you give them enough time, your perspective has changed enough that you are no longer accidentally creating a barrier with your anxious energy, because anxiety, unfortunately, is a blocking energy too. Knight of Cups in reverse for me is a card of self-love with the Knight. Whoa. So 1 Knight in reverse, 1 Knight in the upright works the exact same way. And whether the Knights, they are the things that carry energies forward into manifestation. I have 1 in the upright and 1 in reverse, 1 in the upright. progress all over the place, but you will still have to have a kind of a positive inner dialogue around the whole concept of moving forward. All right, let's go directly to, we'll get our enchanted map oracle cards. We'll get our energy cards. We go 1 and 2 and 3, my little enchanted map. I'm doing it slightly differently. If I take them from the cart first and then do the table, maybe I won't accidentally repeat things. Or go 1, 2, and 3. All right. It snowed when I was like at the other end of California. And of course, I've been in SoCal for too long and I was not prepared. So it was pretty funny. I was like bundling up and, well, I'll just put on every shirt I own right now or I brought with me. Flying, that's a card of new perspectives. And then I have slow and steady, Knight of Pentacles energy, spark, which is creativity, enjoyment, enthusiasm. That is the other thing, that when the more and more healed we are, the more enthusiasm we have for the idea of unexpected things happening. When you're still healing, like the idea of things not going in the way that you think they're going to is like, it's almost like a threat. When you're healed, you're like, yeah, things could change and like maybe it'd be really good. Maybe the best thing that's ever going to happen to me could happen today. You greet the idea of alteration with exuberance rather than like, oh God, what now? All right, I have peaks of joy with spark as well. Very, very, very happy energy. First week of December. Why is the first week of the month always like, well, not always, often just kind of like this kind of low energy where not a great deal happens and you're allowed to kind of be given the space to spend time with you, to be in your head in a productive way rather than in a way where you just chase the same thing over and over again. And I'm guilty of that. I can ruminate and I've gotten so much better about it, but ruminating unfortunately doesn't accomplish much if you're not resolving and releasing energies. Love where everything is going. How's money looking for this month? It's actually looking very well, good with that 10 of Pentacles energy. I love the 10 of Pentacles for anything. So good, secure energy. Looks like maybe there is someone who tests your ability to put into practice lessons that you have learned about where someone else begins and where you end, meaning good boundaries, meaning like not taking on other people's burdens because you have great compassion. You can be very compassionate towards somebody while understanding that everybody has to do their own work. We can't do it for anybody else. We can really understand the path they're on and even like make observations that might help them. But this is just there. It does look like be careful. Don't carry other people's burdens. And it's not because, first of all, it will impede their progress. They won't get the work done that they need to. It also shows down your progress. It looks like a younger female family member in some people's instances. It's general reading, can't hold true for everybody. But it's almost like as you're getting healthier and healthier, somebody that you care about is showing back up in your life. And it's a call to observe where they are as like a kind of a snapshot of where you were and understand, look backwards to gain that perspective. There was a time where nobody could have done your work. Nobody walks the path for us. And that's what you remember with this kind of, I think it's it's a energy signature from codependence where, remember, the only true cure for codependence is independence. Recognizing that like I have my stuff, you have your stuff. I can care very much about it. And sometimes I can help you, but for the most of the part, you have to walk your path as I have to walk my path. It's not a test energy. It's like you're going to spot it easily. Healer of the ages, very good at healed energy, community. I think that's what I was talking about right there. 6th chakra archangel Metatron, the thinking man. I want one more. The thinking woman. In the head and the heart battle, sometimes you are getting better at choosing the head for a good reason, for the reasons of what's really best for this person is not to. You can feel great compassion for somebody and still understand that it's like you have to do that to get better overall. You'll only feel better in the short term. Don't solve somebody else's problem for them. You have an opportunity to do so, and you're going to have to talk yourself out of it. That's basically what that means. All right, let's get going here with this, looks a little bit like the carnival worker, the Soul Explorer Oracle. I actually really genuinely like it. 1 and 2. And I didn't think I was going to at first. I didn't think I was going to, and it just turned out to be really good at it. Release your creative energies, make use of them in your life. I'm going to take one from there. A partnership for the new age. It is time to welcome it. Me and my sinuses. So I kind of have that here. That might be very individual for people. For some people, it really is a romantic pairing, and we'll wait for our relationship energies on that. I don't personally have it in the tarot here. Release your creative energies, make use of them in your life. It's possible that you're going to be meeting somebody through work that you do, but let's find out through our other cards. Let's get going with the the Infinity Oracle. There we go. Relaxation. By the book and exchanging gifts. Well, for some people, that's talking about the holiday season. Spring and ghosted. Woo. What's that about? New beginnings is the meaning of the spring card, and ghosted quite frequently. Okay, for the unknown card. For some of you who've been working on spirit mediumship, you are going to experience. So the new, a partnership for the new age. For some of you, you really are experiencing an uptick in spirit mediumship. As anybody who's ever had a reading with me knows, I do a form of spirit mediumship in which I will only talk to earthbound spirits who are trying to release their burdens, so that the discarnate spirits, so that they can make up for their karma and release it and move on. And that is the only form of spirit mediumship I will do. But there's nothing wrong with spirit mediumship. And for some of you, you're going to be finding, as your energy clears, you're going to have clarity on what happens to be discarnate voices. And there's a point to it. There is a point to it. I just glanced behind me because there's a breeze flowing through here. I wanted to make sure that the door wasn't about to slam shut. Counsel and therapy, spiritual awakening, autumn, which is security and messages from spirit. This is very individual because that 4 of Wands in reverse can be a twin flame in separation. For some of you, your person actually sought help. They feel more connected now. They may wish to speak with you. It's funny. I kind of have a feeling that this might be something you've already released and it won't matter very much to you. You might be like, that's good. Well, it's nice to have closure. And that really might be all there is to it. But again, it's a super individual thing. Let's get a fortune card. It's weird because that is at the Page of Pentacles in reverse, where I was just talking about how you can't do somebody else's work for them. Remember, in that twin flame dynamic, one person always forges ahead as they release something, and the other person might feel the separation of that energy and try to catch up. Don't get caught in that energy again. Don't go backwards, go forwards. Meaning wish them well and be like, you know what, I really do wish you well. And if they ever come to the point where they're fully healed, you will come back together if it's meant to be. And if it's not, then it was a karmic relationship for this lifetime. The more and more healed you are, the less and less distressing that kind of thing is to heal. Here, it's well, you know what? Yeah, seriously, if somebody was really into me, then I wouldn't be sitting around waiting for them to get in contact with me. They'd be contacting me. It's that level of I know what I deserve and I won't accept less. And I don't view it as a test. I really do think that you closed a door, but you didn't lock it and somebody's trying to walk through it. Only let them through it if they're on the same page with you. Goals. I knew there was good money energy. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. Remember, this is the earth energy of the pile number 1. The piles in my collective relate to the elements because of celestial and angelic magic. It does not mean that this is an earth sign pile. It means that you are drawn to the pile that represents the element that is ruling that particular month for you. And this is the earth energy. And it's very there's good money progress. There's very good money progress. With flowers, be generous, success and emotional fulfillment are yours. One more time. Ooh, fun. Key, new beginnings, directions, and adventures await those who are ready to let go of the past. Sometimes we grow and heal and evolve past somebody, and even if it's a twin flame, our energy separates from them, and you go on your path and they go on theirs. And please, if you're hearing that and it's distressing to you, don't worry, it's not your message. It's really one of the ways you can tell that something is your message is that it's like, yeah, no, that sounds about right to me. It resonates with you. If it distresses you, it's either not yours, or it's not time for to be yours, or you have an entirely different message. Here we go, 1 and 2 and 3. But that kind of feels like maybe somebody's trying to still be in your energetic sphere, and they're trying their best to keep up. But I don't think you're waiting very much any longer. I had the unicorn, good fortune and friendship. Really good fortune cards, really good fortune cards for meaning monetary fortune, meaning good money energy. Great month if you're looking for a job above mid-level to, like, believe it or not, because December's not usually a great hiring month. Apparently for people in this collective, it is a good hiring month. With all of those nights, there's a lot of progress in a professional area. The serpent, a sly and subtle approach is needed. Please do not forget, if you are in my collective, one of the ways to protect yourself against dark energies is to say Psalm 91, but use the appropriate pronoun for yourself. Replace the you statements with I statements. It's something that I recite all the time. And sometimes if I'm working with somebody, I will actually record it for them on a voicemail and let them listen to it if they're battling something, because it can be very difficult to release dark energies. Well, what else was I doing here? I think I've got you next, and I want the hoodoo deck as well. This is Teacher's deck. There's a link to it in the description box down below. It is done in hoodoo vernacular. I sound very awkward when I'm saying it, simply because I don't really speak. I sound awkward when I'm saying it. It's using a cadence of speech that is not necessarily my own, but it's a great deck, and it works really, really well, regardless of the fact that it is worded in a way that is not natural for me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Empress status. Don't give up. I think I swear that this whole reading started with that. Kundalini rising. Good luck. We're going to pick up, and then signs and all kinds of things. Basically, the cards are like, yay, don't doubt yourself. Here's the thing. If you've been waiting for something to happen for so long, it finally starts happening. You can be like, that's nice, but like, is this just another football for me to kick, type of energy, like you're waiting for it to be snatched away. If it's felt like that in the past, it was only because you really did have more work to do. And here's the thing, you can recognize that. Like, I can recognize all of the ways in which it's like, oh, thank goodness, some things took longer than they were meant to, because I was not as well as I kept telling myself I was sometimes. And am I still doing that? I don't think so, but I don't think so. But we'll find out, I guess, over the course of time. Let's get your messages of love card. 1 and 2 and 3. All right. Mastery, having learned a spiritual lesson. Unavailable, this person is unable to give you all you deserve. I think that might be a returning twin flame energy. Lesson, this person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson and to release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. You have mastered releasing relationships and energetic ties that no longer serve you. You only accept the worthy. Now, is it going to be absolute for that? Like, maybe somebody's coming back. If they've changed, hear them out. And if they haven't, still hear them out, and then be like, well, it's time to go goodbye. We do have to let go of people sometimes. We do. Here we go. 1 and 2, because people are meant to come and go. And we don't like it because we think when someone goes that they're like, no one else can ever fill that space. And they can, some friendships run their course, and then you make different friends for the different stage in your life. Some relationships are the same way. I have coffee cup. Oh, soulmates, coffee cup, camera, soulmates, soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract, coffee cup, meeting, conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted in friendship with camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past. And that is really the card of perspective, is being able to step outside of yourself, see it from another person's point of view, to see it from the greater point of view, including your part that you play in it. Like one of the things I'm always sharing is like, bad marriage, but like, realistically, I was not a super healthy person when we got married. So some of the toxicity was mine, but I just kept trying to heal from it. And like, being accountable for that. Like part of what happened was I outgrew that individual by getting healthier and healthier and being able to, recognize that it's like, I don't want to be in this energy any longer. Lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. Surprising events in personal relationships are likely from a group number one people, meaning you're going to have a chance to feel how much you have, how much progress you've made. Let's get your romance angel, and then we're going to go to the angel answers and the cookie card. 1 and 2 and 3. It threw me a little bit. I'm going to be honest. Like there's not a lot of hints of it in the tarot. But like the oracle cards are like, and footnote, and footnote, it's like you put something in the proper perspective when it comes to a relationship that you see it very clearly now. You see it very clearly now. And was it a soul contract? Yes. But can soul contracts end? Yeah. Like they can be completed. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Well, good for you. With love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Self-respect is knowing that you will not accept lesser treatment than you truly deserve. Loving yourself is knowing that if you truly love yourself, anybody who does not meet that level of expectation, you will release them. You did have a romance card up there. I just kind of forgot about it. Well, there's a little bit of a romantic vibe around pile number 1. Remember, like halfway through this reading, I was talking about, how you have to like, end one chapter to begin a next, or, releasing to receive. You may be given an opportunity to definitively do so. And that again is going to hold true for some and not for others. Mentor. And then what did I have? Virgin. Fear of intimate union was, because it came out in reverse, fear of intimate union. I'm such a broken record about this, but remember, staying single to keep yourself safe, it doesn't really keep you safe. Like you'll still, like loneliness will rise up sometimes. And even if there are people out there who exploit love, who lie to kind of treat it like a score sheet, there are also good people. And the only way to find them is to be open to it. And that's in friendship and in all forms of relationship. Yowza, success. Well, success was certainly the key word for pile number 1. Romance. Well, pile number 1, romantic possibilities. And please hear me on this. If you have recovered from codependency, because it can cause a compulsive energy and a triggered energy, when you begin a new relationship, you can get one reading to check on the character of that person, but please stop pursuing your relationship through cards. Let yourself have the relationship. And why? Because if you don't think of it this way, but peering in on somebody's psychic world is actually a form of control. And it is actually, in a healthy relationship, unnecessary, because you have that discourse, you have that openness, you have that honesty. Okay. And it's not being scolding. Like if there's something's concerning you and it's like, you need to check, but don't check to find out where everything is going. Have the journey. Don't spoil everything. Don't spoil your own delights. Okay. Let's get going for pile number 2. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Stand up. There we go. And yours is the Sun and Moon Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarot decks. It's just got artwork that I really genuinely enjoy. All right, here we go. Stay there. All right. Temperance card going back over here. Angel answer card and cookie card. Premise behind that, if you have a question I did not answer during the course of the reading, the angel answer card will either apparently repeat something from the reading, because that just happened on pile 1, or it will hopefully answer the question for you. High Priestess of Fire. I like that because this is the fire group, and this is the card of making things happen. Fire are actions that we take in this reality to make things happen in this reality. It's basically the verb of the tarot, doing, doing, doing. The high priestess of fire is inspiration, creativity, new things coming into being and being able to connect to your creativity very easily. It means that, and if you are still struggling with that, keep healing your sacral chakra. But it looks to me like sacral chakra is in pretty good shape for pile number 2 so far. What else have we got? We've got boundaries, the porcupine and the anemone. Healthy boundaries are, how am I going to explain this? When you really have healthy boundaries, you're not super aware of setting boundaries. They're just there. You're like, yeah, you kind of say no effortlessly. Like somebody tried to call me to book a reading yesterday. I was just like, are you okay? It's like, I didn't answer. It went to my voicemail. But like, it was kind of like that. It's like, well, it's a national holiday and you're a local number. No, I'm not answering my phone on Thanksgiving. And it kind of afterwards, it occurred to me as like, that is likely somebody who's still trying to heal some boundary issues. And it's like, nobody I know, it's not one of my clients or anything. It was just some random stranger trying to call and book me on Thanksgiving. And that is the awareness of like, it wasn't a question. You don't feel guilty, I guess, when you have really like, yeah, no, it's simply a boundary. As we learn them, at first we don't set them well. It's like really hard to do so. And it's like almost with too much emphasis. And this is a very elegant energy around that, where you kind of, you're seeing it in retrospect a lot. Like, hey, I did well with that. Like, prepare for that stage of a healing journey as well. All right, we have the Child Eternal card. It was in reverse. So the shadow attribute is inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependencies on others for physical security. And that's the shadow attribute. We're always trying to heal. Our shadow side is the part of our personality formed in trauma. And it is not a bad part of us. Our darker energies are there to give us balance. When we have control of them with our lighter or our higher aspect, then we can kind of like I'm always saying, put your monster on a leash, make it work for you. And that way you're not controlled by it. I have the light attribute is determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Remember, aging is not a number, it is an energy. Think of like we think of youthful vitality being very, very energetic. The more you heal your personal energy centers, the younger you will be perceived as being, the younger you will feel. And does it mean that like you won't ever get any wrinkles or anything? No, that's not what that means. But people who are very vital in their energy, like think Betty White, who like she was all the way up to 100 before anybody ever really thought to like, yeah, she's getting up there. She had this exuberant, interested energy in life. She was forever young in that she was excited about each new day. As we age, some people spend all of their time looking backwards and want to get back to a time of their life where they felt younger, where they felt more vital. If you are in a vital energy, if you are in that eternally young energy, you are excited about the possibilities and you can have a lot of good memories. It's not that the past stops mattering. It's that you're not trying to get there. You're trying to go forward and you do have good memories. Again, aging is an energy. It is not a number. And what else are you? That is my child eternal. And who are you? Athlete, that also is in reverse. I'm going to pick this pile up in reverse. Shadow attribute is misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Light attribute is dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. Despite that having been in reverse with that high priestess of air, and then with the boundaries card as well, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do based on a stage of life or a stage of being. Go towards what you are guided towards doing. Like, you know, starting again at a different stage or a later stage in life, people can be like, oh God, how can you do that? How can you do? Don't be afraid. Just do new things. It will actually make you more invigorated. And also, this is a card of saying one of the grounding kind of energies that we can engage in is physical movement, is like enjoying your physicality. If you don't like to exercise, please at least take walks because it stirs up endorphins, and those are like the happy hormone pills of the, you know, you're basically your chemical systems. Movement is part of flow. We have to move to keep in flow. You can't be in a sedentary energy and being kind of like, you can't, you have to keep going forward in whatever form that takes for you. And if you're if you're injured, if you're in any way dealing with a disability, that doesn't mean that new things can't come to you. It is about expanding your mind as well. It is not just about physical body, it's about the mental energy you inhabit. If you don't like where you are, go towards something new, is what that energy means. Whether it's learning something new, pursuing something new, having a new hobby, meeting new people, making new friends. I have live life to the fullest. Sometimes these cards make me sound like a broken record. See everything I just said, because experience life as something that could bring something delightful and wonderful. And this is such a it just excited energy in these oracle cards so far for group number 2. Kindness counts. Kindness is healing. If everybody was kind to one another as a way of life, our world would be healed immediately. Kindness is everything, because at the root of kindness is compassion and empathy. And we only inflict suffering on people because we view them as being an other or like separate from us. If we consider ourselves all as one, then, first of all, that benefits us as well, because it expands your ability to receive love if you are living in the energy of love. Be kind, and it's not about getting it in return. Sometimes you won't. Be kind because you will like yourself better. Be kind because you will feel better about life in general. Be kind because it keeps you in a higher vibration. Be kind because it brings you closer to the divine. Message in a bottle. Something's coming. With to be fair, I think I just picked this up in reverse. They were all in reverse. I must have picked it up in reverse. To be fair, and then thriving. To be fair with message in a bottle. That is a communication from afar. And then thriving is this beautiful, vital energy. Like if there's a keyword for pile number 2 so far, it is like, be prepared to feel like you've had a B12 shot, like you just, you're 10 years younger, like your new things are happening and you're excited about them. Why is this all screwed up? What to do now? There we go. All right. Here we go. Let's get your predictive cards down. Hi guys. I'm so sorry. Like I genuinely can't see well enough without my glasses to interact with on screen. But I really do appreciate you joining me. I hope we all have a beautiful month. It looks really exciting in cards. Here we go. And November was just tons of fun as well. There we go. Let's get going here. What do we got for pile number 2 for December 2022? 5 of Cups in the upright as the clearance card. That's a tough one because it is about things remaining after a period of loss. It can be about grief. One of the ways that you can tell that you have healed is accepting what is gone, accepting that it's like, well, that part is over, and not like nothing comes of it. Like you don't like, oh, you're like, okay, that relationship is gone. Those people are gone. That tie is gone. That dream, I need a new dream because that dream did not work out for me. So it must have been something else for me. Is instead of focusing on the loss, focus on the possibility of that space that creates. When we lose something, it creates a space in our life. And consider what you can put into it rather than like there's now a space in my life. And it's one of the ways that you can tell that you're healed, is that your focus changes to that. It's like, I want more in my life. I'm not trying to heal from everything. I want to expand my life. I want to have more adventure. I want to have more fun. I want to have more. Energetic expansion. Everything feels really good on the energy of this so far. With the Page of Swords in the upright, which is electronic communications, that's that message in a bottle energy. With the Force, I just really gave that the side eye, didn't I? It's because of something that happened in pile number 1. We'll see how that develops. 4 Swords in the upright is a truce energy. It is a paused energy. It is like a sedate energy, a restful energy. Sometimes it's putting something to rest. With the Fool in the upright, which is leaving the past behind, quite literally. It's a card of downsizing. It's a card of new beginnings. It's a card of going forward. It's the leap of faith. It is the, new beginnings energy. Comes out with the 9 of Cups in reverse, which can be a delayed wish. It can be a sense of disappointment. Above that 5 of Cups, we're going to see where this one's going, because you might Negative emotions are not our enemy, and we're not meant to immediately talk ourselves out of it. Understand your feelings, because until you understand your feelings, they rule your actions. When you understand your feelings, then you can be like, I feel this because of this, but I'm taking this action because that is what is best for me. All right. Oh no, King of Cups in reverse. I'm so sorry. King of Cups in reverse. It's one of my cards for a narcissist. And I've got contact from something and a message in a bottle. I'm thriving. And to be fair, when you really have healed from something, you might get a final chapter, like the chance to close a book, The Hanged Man, new perspective. That's literally, I draw cards to get these titles before I put the stream up. And I did get like new perspectives leading to new beginnings. The Hanged Man is a card of new perspectives. It is a card of needing to step outside of yourself and take a greater view. I think it was the top of this pile, or if it wasn't, it was in the middle of the last pile, is like, like I said, the end of like a very long relationship for me was incredibly toxic, and it was all towards me. And I was in a very trying to be in a very healed place. It was probably the last 10 years or so. But at the beginning of it, like when I look at it, it's like, I wasn't a very healthy person either. I've been incredibly traumatized and have any idea how to have healthy relationships. Like, some of the energy that was created, I absolutely participated in, and I just outgrew it. And I really learned to kind of take that perspective on it, is that I outgrew a relationship and I didn't leave it. And I should have. And that it's kind of like, not saying that I was responsible for my own mistreatment. That is not what that means. What it means is that I was able to take a clear look at myself to see the ways in which I'd changed, which is giving yourself kind of accolades where you deserve it. And I had changed tremendously. And sometimes when we change tremendously from a long-term partner, it's very hard to accept that it's like I'm supposed to leave that person behind, and I couldn't, and I should have. And so it's not, again, it's not saying there's equal blame on both sides, because there quite frankly just isn't. But there's enough that it's like, but I also played my role by not doing what I should have recognized was the healthiest thing to do. I hope that makes sense. With the Strength card in reverse, which is vulnerability, sometimes it's physical illness, sometimes it's weakness. That King of Cups in reverse can be an alcoholic, quite frankly. It can be a lack of emotional fulfillment. Let's see where this is going. Eight of Pentacles in the upright and the hopes and fears is about mastering a situation, having learned a lesson. With the Empress in reverse, that's the think outside the box, innovative solutions energy. Sometimes it's like indolence, but I rarely get it for that. I have people in my collective who are, they're psychics, they're healers, they're educators, they're very, very dynamic people. They have a lot of energy flowing through them. So it's unlikely to be indolence for my particular collective. What is this about though? Five of Pentacles in reverse is that kind of the inclusion, healing. It is a card for healing. It is a card for being calm, being free of worry. The Sun in reverse as well. Now, the Sun is an interesting card because in the upright, it can mean the start of something new growing seasons. Guess what? In reverse, it can mean that as well. It can mean the start of a new growing season. It can mean like depression and all kinds of things. I'm not seeing it there because of the cards surrounding it. That is an interesting one. It's like there's an opportunity coming to you that is, you need to take a pass on it because it's not the right thing for you, but there is something that is right for you kind of within like the space of 3 heartbeats type of thing. Like you take a pass on the wrong thing and the right thing comes in. I have the Four of Wands in reverse. Dudes, that card was in the exact same position in the last pile. I don't know what that means. Sometimes it's releasing twin flames. Sometimes it is about twin flames and separation returning. Sometimes it is about a feeling of discontent, because it's coming out with the Strength card in reverse, which is a card of vulnerability. Seven of Wands in the upright is a card of taking the high ground. Listen, it's kind of like somebody who, if you've ever done anything for which you needed forgiveness, remember other people need forgiveness as well. It's like a little bit of an opportunity to just be your very best self in something without the hope of personal gain. Prince of Cups in the upright, new emotional connections. happy surprises. It's a good card. Can be the start of a new emotional relationship. Ace of Cups in the upright, which is yet another card of a new emotional beginning. Ten of Swords in the upright, which is something ends. But the good thing about the Ten of Swords is it is actually spiritual awakening. In the Rider-Waite, which is going to be the, like, from everything grows from the Rider-Waite, or from the Rider-Smith as well. Those interpretations, every tarot deck afterwards was working from those original interpretations in what they were expanding. And in the Rider-Waite, the person is pierced along their chakra points. So please remember that with the Ten of Swords, which can be backstabbing and betrayal and all kinds of nasty stuff. But it can also simply be something ends, but something new begins in its stead. And it can be like the birth of a new part of a relationship. Let's find out what it's coming out with. The Hierophant in the upright. Hierophant is the card of mentoring, of teaching, of counseling, of therapy. It can be the card of 12-step programs and everything. I'm being really honest. It looks like maybe somebody has an addict in their life who is in recovery, and they're going to come towards you and want to make amends. And whoever this person is, they might have done you really seriously dirty. And I get that energy as part of this collective. Please remember, addiction's a disease. It's a disease. Even if it genuinely is, it changes the way somebody thinks, it changes their brain chemistry. It can degrade a person of great character to a person of, like, base motives. Please allow somebody to heal if you too have had to heal, or just please allow somebody to heal, even if there's nothing in it for you. Like, just trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be will make you feel taller, better, stronger, more successful regardless. Sometimes there's no way to make everything right, but you can release connections with a full heart, saying, like, yeah, I guess everybody does have their own stuff. I don't want you in my life, but I wish you well. Three of Wands in the upright is opportunity. Eight of Wands in reverse. Oh, wow. Okay. Eight of Wands in reverse can be a delayed journey or a blocked journey. It can be a blocked relationship as well. Six of Cups in reverse is a difficult relationship from the past. King of Swords in reverse can be someone who is not facing a difficult truth. It can be someone not telling the truth. Listen, this will not apply to everybody, but for this particular group, it really may be that we've got somebody in a 12-step program who, like, needs to make their amends. And remember, I don't think there's no gain in punishment. Justice is not revenge. And we all do stumble and we all do fall. And, like, like, I can practically hear somebody reacting with, like, you don't know what they did to me. Like, I really don't. I really don't. But if that person was an addict, then they really do have a disease. And it's very hard on people to hold them on the hook for being ill. If you once knew them when they were not at the depths of despair, when they were not in the grips of an addiction, and you thought more highly of them, then maybe there's simply more to that person. What do we got for work? Good energy, not awesome energy, not like, it's not like, hey, everything's going back gangbusters, it's going to be the best month of your life monetarily. It's like everything's very, you have a routine in what you're doing. There's good energy around creative projects, particularly writing projects, particularly anything electronic, but it's the routine energy of you're continuing on a path between any great big occurrences. There's some emotional challenges for you that are going to, it's not a test, it is an opportunity to see who you are now. Sometimes we have trouble catching up with the new version of ourselves, I guess is what I'm trying to say. What I just described, I have absolutely, it is a loss, but it is a loss that the last stage of grief is acceptance. And that's, I think that, you get to the point where you accept your losses in life as being like, okay, well, what did I learn from that? No matter how hard they were. And like, again, like, seriously, half the reason I ever bring up my own past is it's like, no, I really do get it. I've had hideous things happen in my life. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. It actually genuinely is. It's a sign of PTSD. It's a trauma response. I learned to laugh at something because it was much easier than crying. No amount of anger changes the past. There's no amount of anger you can get that will change the past. And anger feels terrible. So releasing things is often the best that we can do. And it could be that this is a decision that you're making on a perspective that you're taking on an addict who is in your life versus the person showing up. But with that message in a bottle energy, and to be fair is one, remember, the we are all one energy is really that in any situation that we are in, the other person matters not more than us, but as much as us. And understanding that they have their feelings and they have their journey and they have their wounds that perhaps they're trying to heal. I guess all I'm saying is that the people in my collective have a tendency to be healers, and don't give that a thought. Give that a thought. What helps healing journeys along the most is compassion towards the wounds of others and of ourselves. I have wishing well. Stormfields. Wishing wells is something manifesting. It is giving your desires over to a divine power and knowing that something will manifest in this place, and that the very best request that we can make of the divine is like, do what's best for me. Do what's best for me, not what I'm asking for, but what's the best thing for me. And sometimes that's challenge and sometimes that's struggle. I don't have it on this table though. With balancing act, which is a to be fair energy, and rescue. Peaks of joy was a bit after it. I'm going to stick with the entire interpretation around if it is not the person themselves returning, if somebody injured you in the past. What I'm always telling people is that we put so much pressure on people in a spiritual setting to forgive before they're ready. We're like, you have to forgive, you have to forgive. It's still, like you're carrying that hatred in your heart. Listen, it's not your job to forgive, it's the divine's. Heal. And when you are healed, forgiveness is one of the easiest things that you can achieve, because it's not that it doesn't matter, it's that it doesn't define you anymore. Whatever that person did, whatever misstep, whatever wrong was done to you, it is not your defining energy any longer. Anxiety, interesting. Angel of balance, appreciation, the thinking woman. Oh, here we go. Archangel Chamuel, which is third chakra, Archangel Chamuel, which is the personal power chakra. The Angel of Balance card in this actually means making sure that your choices serve you. And not just exclusively you, but like, don't make self-sacrificing choices as a way of life. Making sure that you are self-protective. Our guides and our guardians and our angels and our ancestors all try to protect us, but ultimately our best protectors it's us. Like being able to not accept people in our lives who don't belong there. Being able to say, like the easiest example is, and it happens over and over again, I'm not talking about a specific client, but I will meet people who they're on a dating app and they'll discover that the person lied about something key, most often smoking. Like this person said they weren't a smoker, and then it turned out that like I met them and it's like clearly they were a smoker, and they're like, I'm trying to quit. And really, honest to goodness, if that's very important to you, move on. Oh, okay, well, good luck with that. Like they didn't tell you the truth about something that was important to you. That's a red flag. It really is making sure that the choices that you make are the ones that will best and most serve your best goals. Don't accept things in terms of relationships, also in terms of jobs. If you are taking something on because it will ease a worry, know that it won't really. It will put a Band-Aid on something that needs an entirely different surgery. If you don't accept people into your life thinking that they will change for you, sincerely, it is important, because people change for themselves, not for you. And if somebody is not a matching energy, they will degrade yours rather than rising to yours. And that's an important thing to remember as well. It's in business as well as in personal energies. Working on your anxiety, honest to goodness, the cure for anxiety is peace. So kind of being that peaceful, everything comes to me that is meant for me energy, that even my challenges are here to help illustrate my strengths. Because the more we rise to our challenges, the more confidence that we achieve. And people, particularly who are trauma survivors, have their ability to be confident damaged by that. And so we were brought many opportunities to rebuild that confidence. And some of them are hard and some of them are challenging. Awaken the magic of your creativity, immerse yourself in the world of feelings. Such like exuberant, passionate, interested, like this is a really, like you might find yourself like very easily spontaneous this month when you haven't been in the past. And try to inhabit that. Don't plan if you plan every single thing, you're not going to be surprised very often. Go with the actual flow of what is being brought to you sometimes. Success and happiness are coming. Success has been one of the theme songs of this particular reading. Let's get these guys. I don't think I got them already. Let's get the Infinity Oracle. 1 and 2 and 3. Here we go. One. My dog is snoring. It's the cutest little thing. One of them, Puddles, the smaller one, who I am convinced is a reincarnated chain smoker, because if you've ever seen her back there on that chair licking exuberantly, she does that all day long. There's absolutely nothing that I can do to stop her. Nobody else sits on that chair, by the way, it is hers. But like she has an oral fixation and she's over there snoring and it's just adorable. Eternal love, financial loss, manifest, third-party interference with ego death, family concerns. I think that goes back to what I was talking about of like releasing that energy around. Remember, if you're trying to hold somebody on the hook for something, you're also holding that hook. Like the easiest way to like live a great life is to let go of the resentments and the injuries of the past when you can. And that is not to scold anybody. We retain things for as long as we're meant to until we've healed them. And just allow yourself to release things. Just allow yourself to release things. It has something to do with forgiving somebody for like, it looks like a financial injury they might have done to you. Snake, your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path, but be careful. I'm going to go back to what I was saying about making sure that the people you allow very close to you have a matching energy, meaning that like, you know, that they're trying to expand and to grow and to heal. There we go. Fire, let go, fire. This is the, High Priestess of Fire. We got a lot of fire here. I don't think anything's catching fire, by the way. Let go of emotional upheaval and embrace the renewal of the present. And that really is what I was just talking about. If something is still bothering you, you've still got work to do on it. Honest to goodness, release comes easily when you're in that. It's the same thing as forgiveness. When you're ready to let go, you let go. But have that be your goal. Have that be your goal. With Mountain, know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. I am positive that I was talking about how we learn from our challenges and that they're not just, they're here to give us confidence. And the next time something's going wrong, keep that part in mind. Not, why are they doing this to me? But rather like, I can handle this. I can handle this because I have a lot of belief in myself now. Let's go and get some from Teacher's deck, which I enjoy so very much. Karma Lord. Apparently you get what you give. That's another reason to forgive. Be the person you want to see in the world. I know that, like, particularly when you've been badly wronged, and part of the reason I go into this is I have multiple clients whose partners tried to kill them and ended up in jail. And it's so hard to forgive somebody for trying to take your life. The thing you need to concentrate on is healing, not forgiving. When it's that bad, when the injury is like, my gosh, you ruined my whole life. Don't think I need to forgive, I need to forgive. Think I need to heal, because that's a really substantial injury. And when you heal, the closer and closer you get to healed, the more likely you are to just be like, it doesn't matter, I'm letting it go. It's a slightly different thing than the idea of I've bathed this person in forgiveness, may you too know compassion, but you will take a different perspective on the people who have hurt you when you are in a healed energy, because they no longer have access to you. And remember, that really is karma. That is, karma is not punishment. It's not rewards, it's lessons. That person will experience karma. You don't need to worry about like people getting away with things scot-free. For one thing, even if you don't see it, they can't be truly happy if they never know real love. Remember, if you possess love and you've tried to give it to the wrong people, You have a great deal of love. You will always have access to joy and to a celebration of life that people who are punishing and unkind and punitive and vengeful cannot experience. And that is why letting somebody off the hook and being like, I don't want to hold this hook anymore, can be one of the most powerful things that you can do, because it sets you free. It really isn't about the other person lying their butt off. Scam alert. Love, blessings, jealous, and intuition. All right, for some people, we're going all the way back to what again? Like somebody's asking for forgiveness and they may not be on the up and up. Remember, you don't owe anybody access to you. You never will. Nobody has a right to you. Even if they're like, but I've apologized. They don't have a right to you. If you don't believe them to be sincere, just release them. Like understanding that karma and like the divine really does know what it's doing. If it looks to you like evil people thrive in this world, please remember their internal worlds are like, they don't experience true resonant joy in the way that people who go towards the light really can. Let go of everything that you can that is dragging you backwards into a degraded energy. But don't force yourself to do it. If you force yourself to do it, it just causes compounded pain. It causes underlying issues. It has to come from a place of healing. It just genuinely does. And if like you're like, I can't forgive that person, honest to God, that's a sign. Just don't even worry about it. Heal. Balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. Intuition. To be fair is a balanced energy. Rejection. True love. Denial. This is hyper specific, but what that particular card combination can mean is that somebody was treated very badly within a relationship, like used, maybe cheated on, that type of thing. The person's coming on back and like, I didn't even know what I had. I'm so very sorry. That is not a sign that you're supposed to let them in. It's not. And it really isn't. We're not meant to go backwards in our path. We're meant to keep moving, and it won't come to you until you're at that point where you have very good discernment and judgment. And because there's a little bit of like an energy of kind of somebody being a little bit up to something, but I'm not. We can think we're healed before we're healed, and that can happen to anybody. Like healing journeys are always longer than people want them to be. Like I said, forgive for you. This is an interesting energy. Boat, receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure issues. Paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. I don't have anything around meeting anybody on this particular pile. Doesn't mean that there isn't anybody. It just means that the cards aren't focusing on that. Passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally and having fun. Well, maybe you are. Girl with a snake. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used. Enable and then boundaries. Well, we got all that on the table. Be careful if your very favorite narcissist is trying to come on back into your life saying that they've done a lot of work, that they've really been working on themselves. That doesn't mean they belong in your life. It means, well, good for you. I hope that path continues for you. I'm much better off and happier without you. So bye. Please try to keep that in mind, because I'm not judging anybody, but please remember that can be a ploy of manipulative people as well. Okay. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. I'm going to take one more on this. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to get your angel answer card and your cookie card. And then we'll move on to pile 3. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. In order for your true divine partner to come towards you, you do need to release ties to the people who are not meant for you. And really, honest to goodness, please, again, if you throw fruit at the screen, it's going to hit your screen. It's not going to get to me. But if you have been in a situation where it's like you're in separation from somebody, please remember there comes a point in that where you're like, this is not treatment I would accept. I would not accept this from somebody because I've healed and I like me so much now that I know what I deserve. And so almost all in separation situations, unless the person comes on back with like an epic story, most of the time you're meant to release it. And it doesn't need to be permanent. Like sometimes that person will come back to you, but it won't hurt. It's not a bad concept when you've reached that level of healing. You're just like, yeah, no, I'm ready to let go of that because it's not worthy of me. And is that not a twin flame? It's a karmic relationship, and they're very, very related concepts. Not all twin flames end up together, and it might not be the lifetime for a twin flame to end up together. And if you're hearing that and it's the most upsetting thing, please listen to me. That is not your message. Your messages are not going to freak you out. They're not going to hurt you. You can tell what your messages are because they resonate with you. Okay. So whenever I'm saying something that people are like, it's like, that's not your message. You're not going to have that reaction to your message. Your messages land. Your messages are heard easily. Communicate clearly. And then I have twists and turns, which I'm going to read. I don't read these paragraphs very often because I'm a keyword reader. I put all these cards together. They basically form a story or a sentence for me. Twists and turns. Carefully made plans could be thrown out the window as major changes and interruptions surround you. Make sure you get lots of rest to cope with all the upheaval. I could absolutely swear that I said something about the need to allow yourself to be spontaneous at the very beginning of this, or somewhere in the middle. I'm not really sure. We all get lost in these. Allow things to change on a dime. Please don't be set in your ways. It blocks out all forms of manifestation. Routines are not our friends. It's good to have routines, but it's also good to be like, I need to be flexible around them. Flexibility is the thing that brings you more joy than rigidity. Rigidity is a blocking energy. Please be open to things happening the way they need to, rather than the way that it's like, but that makes me uncomfortable. Guess what discomfort is? It's growth. All right, pile number 2. That was your reading for December of 2022, a month with a lot of spontaneity, a lot of need to go with the flow as it is brought to you, and potentially for some people, you're deciding to let something go because you see a person more clearly. And for others, it's potentially that somebody who did you wrong is coming back and they're offering an apology, but they're doing it with an agenda. And be careful with that. You can still forgive somebody and not allow them access. Not everybody deserves access. Sometimes, particularly when it comes to somebody who has abused you, maybe that person is better off learning the lesson that it might keep them on the straight and narrow to know that you can't undo everything with an I'm sorry. Okay. All right, we're moving on to pile number 3, and timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Enjoy December. Creative energies on fire there as well. We have the Gilded Tarot bringing you a predictive spread. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this one. I didn't on the other ones. I don't think very much. Well, not in the bridging way. And why do I do that? I don't know. It just feels right on that one. Different things feel different or right for different piles. What can I say? I have, oh my goodness, lust for life. Can be passion, can be sexual passion. Remember, we have bodies. We're meant to enjoy them. We have the Angel's Answers and the cookie card for pile number 3. Remember, the premise behind that is if you have a question I did not answer throughout the course of this reading, hopefully the angel answer will do that. And then the cookie card is just usually something for fun. I have that with the Weasel and Pine, introspection. Introspection is different than ruminating. Ruminating is going over a situation over and over and over again, almost in a cyclical fashion, in a circular thinking passion as well. Introspection is gaining greater perspective. And if you have been repeating, like, what happened here? What happened here? Stop and try to consider it. A really good way to gain perspective is to take everything you're thinking about and be like, well, what if this was happening to my very good friend or to my sister and how recast the roles to gain a greater perspective. That's all I'm saying. I have Angel. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. The shadow attribute is acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Listen, we're people, and we're always going to have some selfish motives, but try to act from a place of, try to act from your highest self. And don't berate yourself for having like lower motives. It's normal. Like I say this over and over again, I do not believe we are meant to evolve past this life while we are in it. We have literally eternity to be unattached to our physical bodies. While you're here, be here. And accept that you will always be working in conjunction for a state of balance with your lesser aspect. And sometimes you kind of have to, like, guide yourself through it. In the end, we are our own best spirit guide, honestly. Our conscience is. I also have, bully. That was in reverse. Highlights the light attribute. Remember, shadow and light attributes. The shadow attribute is a shadow aspect that we're working with, trying to understand our own trauma or something that traumatized us. Light attribute is highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fear that bullies you. The shadow attribute is conceals deep fear behind verbal or physical abuse. It is one of the hardest things to understand that most bullies are actually terrified people. One of the easiest ways to deal with a bully is to understand everything that they're doing is about them and just don't care what they're saying, because it doesn't define you. The only power other people have with their words is how much worth we invest in the opinion of that other person. And if you do not respect that person, you need not respect their opinion. Build on solid ground. What was that? Nothing from that one yet. Feel joy in all you do. It's almost like you're starting over and you're just much happier about it. We can have false starts on a healing journey as well. Thinker, that's an introspective card as well. Happy. A lot of joyful energy around this. It's been a little bit the energy of, like, I always think of Sagittarius as being this very, like, exuberant, impulsive energy anyway, and we're in Sagittarius season. But it, honest to goodness, just looks like you're in a new day type of energy with simplicity. Try to find joy in smaller things. If you think you're only going to be happy when you get a big house or you have a certain car or you have a certain job, hey, listen, I'm sorry, it does not work that way. Because sooner or later, it's just the job that you have. It's just the house that you live in. It's just the car that you drive. If your happiness is based on gaining what you want, once you get what you want, you will cease being happy with it because your happiness is based in the need to acquire. Be happy with what life offers over the course of every single day. One of the things I absolutely love is that I went ahead and put out a hummingbird feeder on my balcony because, like, there were hummingbirds hanging around my balcony anyway. I was like, well, they might as well get a snack out of it. And all day long, I have these adorable, increasingly plump little hummingbirds all over the place. And it is just delightful. And I don't live in a particularly posh place. And I used to live in absolutely beautiful homes. And now I live in a very modest place, but I'm happy and I'm safe. And everything that I have is mine. Everything that I do is something that I create. And I'm so much happier in this modest place with some of its, detractions than I ever was in homes that other people, I think, might have envied me for. And they didn't understand what they were envying. It's like, you shouldn't have envied me. That was a prison. And this is where I am free. And remember that you are free when you are happy. Your happiness is something that you are choosing, not something you are chasing. Let's get going here. What do we got for pile number 3? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I hope everybody's doing really well. There we go. Blind as bat girl just glanced over and it's like, hello, people that I can't really see. Thanks for being here. I think of everybody as shopping on Black Friday. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Oddly enough, like, I think you can tell you're happy when, like, you have very few wants, because, like, I'm looking at stuff going, I don't need that. I like books. But sooner or later, I want to get to the point where I have a potter's wheel, because I absolutely I love to do pottery. I actually love all things creative, like refurbishing furniture and, like, painting projects and a lot of hands-on stuff that, like, people don't guess that about me. I'm not sure why. Knight of Wands in the upright. That is lust for life. It is exuberance. It is happiness. It is interest, and it's excitement. It's like it's a month that's very exciting so far. With the Emperor in the upright, that's a card of personal power. It's the card of the astrological sign Aries. It's not in reverse. I've never liked the Emperor in reverse. Everybody who's watching me for a while knows why, because it can indicate a sociopath or an emotional abuser. This was in the upright. The Emperor is the card of making wise choices as well, because he's a disciplined ruler. The Emperor has self-discipline, which is funny because they assigned it to Aries, which is like, Aries quite frequently struggle with that, like, bam, the big boom bam temper. Everybody thinks I'm an Aries when they first meet me, and I'm not. Which I always take as a compliment because that's that kind of getting done stuff. But like people think I'm a fire sign, I'm quite simply not. I'm an earth sign. I'm a Taurus. Strength card in the upright, which is the Leo card. Knight of Wands in the upright, Emperor in the upright, Strength card in the upright. Boy, like this large and in charge energy and just happy and excited after a period of like absolutely nothing happening because the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is in the recent past. Chariot in the upright, moving on. That successful energy. If there has been a word describing the piles so far, it has been success. Please don't think money when you hear the word success. Remember, success can be being healed. It can be being happier. It can be falling in love. It can be expansion and success after a journey, which is achievement. And that comes in through different forms for different people. With the Judgment card in the upright, that is the card of new karmic cycles. It's the card of things coming to light, is the card of the Archangel Gabriel, which is what I'm attached to. It's Epiphany is truth. Gabriel blows his trumpet and the walls fall down. I have it with the Ten of Swords in reverse. Yikes, that is trauma. Getting over trauma, releasing trauma. This is one of my favorite Ten of Swords, though. And remember, the artwork is something that I look in for meaning. And it's just this rainbow-colored spiritual enlightenment, easy flow energy as well. But it came at a cost. Like everything that you've achieved came at such a cost to you sometimes that like maybe you don't see the achievement and you're weighing it out by the cost. Switch your perspective on it. Take a different perspective on it. Stop thinking about what got you here and think about where you are. We only have today. All we have is today. If you think you're going to be happier when you have a certain thing that you can't get to quite yet, don't put off your happiness. Remember, it's not a destination, it's a state of being. All right, Temperance in the upright. Hallelujah. That is the Hidden Two of Cups card. It's the Alchemy card. It is the Healing card. It's the Sagittarius card. This is healing from trauma and like being able to see truth easily. I have the Nine of Pentacles in the upright, which is independence. It's privilege. The nines are all about personal power. Lots of personal power cards here. This is joyful and exuberant and happy and healed. So far, love in your energy, group number 3. Five of Pentacles in the upright, though, that can be an anxiety card. It can be a feeling of being left out in the cold. It can be financial deprivation. With the Ten of Wands in reverse, but it's being released. With the Seven of Pentacles in reverse as well. Now, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse is an interesting card because the Seven of Pentacles in the upright is actually an investment card. It's a process card. It's a farmer's card. Plant the seed, tend it with your efforts, watch it grow card. In reverse, I can see it as failure, but it can also be don't do anything, like releasing, like the stepping back and the not me, not me. Let's see what comes out with it because it, honest to goodness, listen, financial markets across the world are being weird and they're going to continue to be weird and they're going to continue to be weird for a little while. There's a state of flux in our power structures. I'm getting zero bad vibes off of any of these things. With the Three of Pentacles in reverse, I'm telling you, that is yet another card of feeling personally powerful. It's like you're whole again and better. The Wheel of Fortune in the upright, start of a new karmic cycle, also an uptick in good fortune. With the Moon in reverse, which is clarity, things becoming clearer, knowing what to do, setting aside confusion, certainty. Comes out with the Justice card in reverse. There's something going on in the world again, darn it. Seven of Cups in the upright. It does not appear to be touching you very much because you're happy, happy, joy, joy. With the Fool in reverse. Beware who you trust sometimes. Some antics on the world stage, don't pay attention to it. Remember, reality is just a lot more complicated than we think it is. It just is. I mean, we want it to be this very simplistic, in the 3D, if I can see it and touch it, it's real. If you believe in this at all, you know there is more to this world than we can see. You've had experiences, you believe things. It is always funny to me when I meet somebody and I read for them and they have absolutely no faith in this and they're almost immediately like, this is like, what? I don't know how it works. It just does, because there is a world unseen and energies around us define so much of our lives. Please focus on your life. Don't worry about the greater world. Make a difference in your world, and you will start to impact everything around you. Judge your relationship from the divine, not by the greater world, but by your world. 10 of Cups in reverse, unhappy family situations. King of Cups in the upright. What's that? King of Wands in the upright. I say with like an accusatory tone. 4 Cups in the upright. Wow. There's so much clarity around like what went into forming you, like a greater understanding of self leading to a greater understanding of others. But this is not a particularly intellectual pile. It's like you're switching lanes from work, understand, keep trying, to I am excited about existence again. And it might have been a foreign concept with this, like for a while, with this trauma card. Remember, we have to heal from trauma. We cannot be like, I've chosen healing. One of the things, and like this is pile number 3, you always get the juicy details about my hideous childhood, and I apologize, but you're the trauma group because it's about emotions. Until we understand what something did to us, we cannot actually forgive it because we have not confronted something. And like, I'm going to have trouble actually saying this. Okay. So trying to forgive my mother, who is actually just, I don't even want to think about her own childhood. Something normalized a lot of violence for her. And I don't know that much about her childhood. She grew up in Scotland. I had to accept that my mother was very much an active participant in abusing me because she knew the type of home I was in, including that it was like this 8-bedroom house, bereft of furniture. And I was a little kid in this household. And I had so much shame around this for so long that I wouldn't tell people, but nobody ever let the dog out. And I was a little kid in that particular household, and it had petrified dog poop in the basement. And like I was the only person who would ever clean up any of it. And it had been there for years. So the 2 adults, my grandmother and my father, nobody was even taking care of the dog. So God knows they weren't taking care of me either. And I felt responsibility for that when it was like I had parents and my mother left me there. And it was not about accusing her. It was about understanding, oh, she knew. She really, really knew, because it was that way when she lived there as well. She was a troubled person and a traumatized person in her own respect. And again, why was it important for me to kind of look at that and be like, no, she knew that there was no water heater. She knew a whole bunch of things. She just didn't want children. I found out over the course of December 2021 that when my brother, I have a half brother who is 4 years older than I am. When my brother was 2 years old, my mother gave birth to a child and put that baby up for adoption. And she was married at the time. And it wasn't to my father. She met my father 5 weeks after placing that baby for adoption. And she was on a ship to America with him 6 weeks later. And this is not about accusing my mother. It is about, in order to understand and forgive something, I had to look it in the face. My mother was an opportunist and she did not want children. And the only way she could get my father to marry her was to agree to have a child. And I was that child. She did not want me. And I have for my whole life taken responsibility for that, because maybe it was something about me. Finding out that I have another half brother, and these are like college professors, by the way. My nobody hails from like, any kind of like socioeconomic dysfunction. Part of the reason that it was surprising was it was like, wait, what? My dad was a doctoral student at Trinity College in Ireland when she met him. It was understanding that I was part of a bargain that she didn't want to pay. And only because I turned out to look like her did she ever have any interest in me, because she's a narcissist. And I was able to forgive that, and I do forgive her. But I couldn't truly forgive her until I really was holding her responsible for like, that isn't it? Like and by the way, do I have poop in my house? No. Like I taught myself how to do everything and like run a tight ship and all kinds of things. But it was, to forgive something, you have to confront what it was. That's the message. Your angel answer is, and all of that stuff is always really hard for me to say. So why do I talk about it? Because I didn't for many, many years talk about like just how bad it had all been. And when I got older and I did start revealing things, I found, and particularly doing this job, I found that there were so many people walking around with so many hidden wounds that they were ashamed of, that they shouldn't have been, because you're not the person who injured yourself. Don't have shame about your wounds. You're not the person who hurt you. And it is okay, normalize talking about difficult things, because things heal in the sunlight and they fester in the dark. All right, no need to worry. That's really hard for me to do, by the way. And then achievement. Enjoy the limelight, you've earned it. Although on the family front, someone's health could cause some secret worries and sleepless nights. Didn't see much of that, but like the whole, how do you heal? You heal by being honest with yourself about what really happened, and don't get stuck in the why me, because realistically, why anybody? There are people who grow up with like no clean drinking water. It's not because they did something to deserve it. It's not about what we deserve. It is that this is a difficult existence that we can rise above if we choose to connect, if we choose to keep going towards everything light and bright and happy and positive. It is available to all of us, and it is through choice, and it is through how we view the world. Okay. And it's a hard energy when you've had a lot of stuff happen to you. Let's move on to pile number 4. Sorry for the heavy finish on pile number 3. If stuff like that comes through, I assume it is important, and that somebody needed to know, like it's hard for me to talk about stuff. And of course, that's not even it's part of the iceberg. It's probably the top part of the iceberg, but there's a lot of that stuff. And the reason I started talking about it is so that other people would not walk around with shame, because you don't know other people's stories. Other people have all their own stuff, and you have no reason to be ashamed of what made you or where you came from. Even if it was difficult, you can overcome it. Oh, gotta wipe my nose now. That time from sweat, because that one was really hard to do. All right, let's get going for pile number 4 with the Divine Tarot bringing you a predictive spread. Healing requires honesty with self and with others. All right, pile number 4, timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Let us hope that you guys have an easy breezy pile. Let's keep going. All right. Let's get your oracle cards going here. The angel answers premise behind this is, if you have a question throughout the course of this reading that I do not answer, hopefully the angel answer will provide that. Usually the cookie card is just for fun. I have success. Pile number 4, every single pile has gotten a marker for success. And remember, it's not just money. It is achievement. It can be in healing. It can be in emotional wellness. It can be in progress in your, it's just a very successful energy. It's an achievement energy for this particular month. With the vulture, and I don't know what that type of bird is, asphodel? It's upheaval, which is change as well. And remember, we find vultures creepy and everything, but they're the garbage men of the greater natural world, and they can stop disease from spreading, and they're actually very valuable parts of our ecosystem. And the reason to go into that is, remember, if something changes, if it kind of feels like, wow, I was not anticipating that, it does happen for a reason. Like the time that my life entirely blew up, trust me, I was trying to hold on to a life that was going to kill me. I have poet. Light attribute is expresses soul insights in symbolic language. And then I have shadow attribute is turns a lyric gift to a negative or destructive effect. A lot of people, because this is going to be the air group, again, it's not about being an air sign, it's your ruling element for the month. This is intellectual energy. This is also creative energy. This is being in the free paradise of the mind. We are always able to have the world we want if we're willing to also invest in the world we envision. And envisioning things is part of what makes it expansive energy within the 3D possible. Our imagination, our creativity is never a wasted effort. And in fact, the arts are one of the things that put people in touch with their true ability to feel at a soul level. Art and music and creativity and being in an introspective space, in an intellectual introspective space, has great value in a spiritual and a healing journey. With night, Light attributes, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. With the shadow attribute is allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. One word about romantic delusions. First of all, throw away the word delusions. Let's say romantic illusions. Sometimes we can have a tendency to romanticize people's pain, judge them both with what the impact they're having on you. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you have an alcoholic in your life, don't romanticize alcoholism. It's because of this, it's because of that. It's like, it's also something they have to heal, and it's a toxic energy that will poison you too if you're too near it. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance. Don't romanticize toxicity. Even if it comes from a terrible place of pain, sooner or later, it too will poison you. Be circumspect in who you allow into your life. Rejuvenate. New beginnings energy. Take responsibility for your actions. Remember, we play a part in our journey, in the choices that we make. Life is not being done to us. We are participating in it. We are in co-creation with the universe. Meaning, if something went hideously wrong, don't just, and it's not about condemnation or blame. It's about understanding, well, how do I do differently to get a better result next time? You can take responsibility for your actions without shame. Understanding that, well, I was a work in progress. I can understand why I would have made that mistake. I didn't know any better. If you didn't see any better, it's really hard to do any better. Allow yourself to look at yourself with clarity, because it will give you a better understanding of how to be happier going forward. No place like home. With a chaos and conflict. Okay, that's two cards of chaos. Upheaval and chaos and conflict. Don't know what's happening yet. With action. Let me get the tarot cards down on this one before I even start shooting my mouth off about that, because I don't know if it's in the practical world or in the emotional or in the intellectual or the spiritual world yet. Let's find out. Let's go for pile number 4. Here we go. Timestamps edited in after the broadcast. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Good flow on it. Whenever I get the 2 indicators upheaval, it's like, what's going to happen now? Remember, change is a friend. It genuinely is. I have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which is an easing of a difficult situation. It's a healing energy. It's like a no need to worry energy. With the 10 of Cups in the upright, can be a family situation. I have the 9 of Cups in reverse, can be a disappointed energy. Let's face it, this year has had, like, the word perseverance has practically been tattooed on it. And there is a point in being asked to keep going when things aren't happening in the time frame or in the way that we want. Because the thing that impedes our journey the most is not the exterior world, but our interior world. And an inability to keep trying, even if things have not worked out. Because we are meant to learn the most about ourselves through the things that don't work out. And like, everybody fails. If you look at, like, the biggest success stories in the world, they will have failed at something. He's not like this great guy or something, but I'm still going to use him as an example. Jeff Bezos, it's not Bezos, it's Bezos. I don't know. Jeff Bezos is famous for that. Like, he's tried so many things that did not work out. And when something doesn't work out, he just cuts ties with it and moves on. Like, he tried a phone, it didn't work. There's a couple of other things that he's done that he just keeps going in order to expand. Everything, and he learns something from it. Look at anything that did not work out. If something tried and then faltered for you, look what you learned from it, not like berating yourself for, well, it must not be meant to be. It's like, maybe there's a lesson that fuels the thing that's meant to be. We have to be able to, life is a long journey. We need stamina. It helps us build stamina. Ace of Cups in reverse, which is a lack of emotional fulfillment in the past. With the 7 of Pentacles in the upright, I like that energy because it is an investing in the process. Sometimes we're asked to invest in ourselves. Things don't happen as quickly as we want to when we've got the 7 of Pentacles in the upright, but they are happening. It can be a disappointed energy. In this one, it's just really, really not. It's genuinely not. Remember, that is a card of allowing things the time they need to see fruition, not trying to dictate the pace, because that's a controlling energy. And when we're trying to control something, I guarantee you it will cause failure, because we cannot, the only thing we control is our reaction to things. Control yourself and you'll have as much control as you need in a situation. And don't control through repression. Understand yourself so that you understand the feelings that you're having. I have the Magician in reverse. That's a manipulative energy. What's going on here? I have the Four of Pentacles in the upright. That's a holding on tightly energy. It's a guarded energy. Honest to God, it's got a vulture on it. Upheaval. Dang it. All right, let's see. Death card in the upright. Scorpio energy. New beginnings. It's that Phoenix energy. It's rarely ever outright death. It has to be in reverse for me. It's not closure either. With the Three of Swords in the upright, pile number 4, you're always my wild card. It's like you always go in a new direction. Queen of Wands in the upright. That is someone who's charismatic, making things happen, a person who compels, somebody who can do magic as well. With the King of Pentacles in the upright, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, it can simply be a card of business. It can be a card of success in business as well. Remember, upheaval and change are not necessarily negative. It could be a big breakthrough. With the Nine of Wands in reverse, which is a dropping your guard energy, it's also the battles that you know not to fight. Like if something hasn't, like don't beat your head against brick walls energy type of, if something hasn't been working out and something hasn't been working out, take a step back and say, well, it wasn't that, what's it meant to be? And sometimes we do have to switch horses on a journey and take a new path. That comes out with the Knight of Swords in reverse with that Death card in reverse. I don't like the Knight of Swords in reverse because for me, it's anger. For me, it's like, it's literally like, and this, I have no other things that support it. That can be a card for murder for me. Like, it's like, and how did I find that out? In a very startling read. Okay. And it's okay. It's like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Remember, if you are a reader, you will begin to expand what cards mean to you. Don't just go by a book. Go by your experience. Go by the way you relate to cards. Your cards form a relationship with you as well. There is no hard and fast meaning of a card. And by the way, if another reader's putting down cards, if you try and interpret them via your meaning, it's not going to work because my cards speak to me. Now, could they be speaking to you as well? It's unlikely, but it's possible. You'll know because like the whole message will be there. Ace of Swords in the upright is clarity and success, another success card with the Star in reverse. This is a strange energy. The Hierophant in the upright, Ten of Swords in the upright. That card was in number 3's internal as well, I believe. And then the Sun in the upright. Well, the Hierophant is a government card. It can be a card of the patriarchy. It can be a card of traditionalism. It can be the card of mentorship and therapy and teaching. The Ten of Swords is an interesting one because for me, it has to be in reverse to have the truly negative stabbed in the back trauma type of energy. But it is usually the need to like something's done and accepting it. And the Sun in the upright is just the birth of all new exciting things. Here's the thing. You do have this kind of, there is a change, and no matter how it looks, because I have no towers here, it appears to be a positive change, and it may be within a career setting since I've had so many successful energies. With the Eight of Cups in reverse, with the Three of Swords in the upright, boy, I do get like this mild, like there's a mild COVID surge, does not seem to be a big one, but we're in cold and flu season, so that makes sense as well. I don't have the other health markers around it that would concern me with that. The Eight of Cups is usually something returning to you in reverse like that. King of Wands in the upright. That's a manifesting energy. The kings are about like things coming to absolute fruition. The queens gestate them, meaning that it's still part of the process, but it's the birth of new things. And it's this very, like they're still nurturing something into existence. When the kings hit the scene, it's making it here. We have the King of Pentacles over there. We have the King of Wands in the upright, which is this like creative energy. It can be a fire sign, just like any of the other. The astrological implications on our court cards, sometimes it'll be a person and sometimes it will be an overall energy. Particularly for the kings, it can be a ruling government body. And I do have a government card over here. With the Hanged Man in the upright, which is a card sometimes of sacrifices, sometimes of new perspectives, sometimes of like, you know, whoa, take a pause, don't act in haste. There's a little Six of Cups in the upright, relationship from the past or to the past. It can be nostalgia. For me, it rarely is. It can be generosity. It can be a type of soulmate that is a past life relationship returning to you. Do I have any of that? Well, I guess I have new beginnings. A friend could be returning to your life. They may, in fact, be a Scorpio. A Scorpio could be bringing you a new beginning. I've got this very healed energy around so many things, but there is a need to be like, kind of don't conform. Don't conform. Don't do things the way that you are told to. Do things the way that is wise and best fits you. Okay. Like, every now and then I'll get a comment in the comment section where it's like, you talk too much. And it's like, yeah, it's not changing. I use a lot of words. And like, if that's bothering you, then like with no offense meant, it's not like get out of here. It's more like, I'm not your reader. Like that's all that means, because I'm not going to change that to please somebody else. That is simply who I am. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You are meant to do things the way you are meant to do them. Take other people's advice under advisement, but don't mold yourself into somebody else's image of you. With that one, like I just have this potential family situation that's been showing up in 2 different groups already, where there's some upheaval in a family. Like some things from childhood are very much resolved as well. A little bit of an upheaval energy. Hey, listen, something just came through and it's going to be hyper specific. I'm going to mention it anyway. Please understand, I explained this, I think, to file number 3 or maybe file number 2. Maybe I've explained them to all of them. I don't recall any longer. If a message lands and it horrifies you, it's not your message. That's not how spirit guide messages work. So what I'm about to say is only for people who are like, yeah, that about makes sense. You may be about to release a difficult relationship from the past, and it may be that it has seen its full, it's done everything it's meant to be. And it's like with a potentially an older relative. Don't let anybody use the fact that they are related to you as a claim to the right to abuse you, because they do not have it. Nobody does. Okay. It's a toxic relationship from the past that you have a different like perspective on. All right, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. And you can love somebody, like you can have unconditional love for somebody while understanding that is not synonymous with unconditional access. What's that? I'm sure that I'm just make these really comforting faces sometimes. I could not play poker even if I knew how to, because I do have a very reactive face. As I've been telling other groups, my friend Devin and I finally start recording that podcast I've been talking about on Monday. I think I'll have it out by the end of the year, and I'll give you more information at the January read at the end of December, because I really do think it's likely to launch on potentially like the 3rd of January. Gentle Gardener, coming to life. Goblins, that's fears and things from the past and worry. Follow the leader. This is the only pile this has been coming out in, Moonlight, which is intuition. Greater world events seem to be playing a part. I don't have anything catastrophic. Throughout, like since March, I'd been seeing like there's mild conflict around our election process. And it turned out really well. And like there were only like mild areas of pushback. And I knew it wasn't going to really touch California. I don't have conflict on this table, but I do have like definitively the end of something toxic potentially within a power structure. And it could be at your work. It could be at like sincerely, this is where like it's an individual message comes in, is that it's going to mean different things for different people, even in a general reading. Like there is a by the book energy that is a little bit like going down, it's like it's down in flames, like it wasn't working and now we're confronting it. And it's not catastrophic, but there is change and a little bit of conflict within something that has an exterior influence on your life, pile number 4. Your interior life looks interesting to me. Meaning that like everything is take responsibility for your actions, rejuvenate. It's like you're able to practice very healthy escapism in a time during stress. Keep track of the things that you do that help you most with your anxiety. Adhere to your own process. Remember, if you don't have the power to change something, Being informed on like, well, what's it doing is the most that you should do. Like, don't worry, don't fret, don't give your life's energy to something that isn't giving anything back but worry and concern. Keep yourself informed, but keep working on your world. Keep working on your world. Blossoming abundance, so much success energy, all tied up. That is a blocked energy sometimes with the world. It has something to do. The sun, and then happy family. Group number 4, something going on with family structures with that 10 of cups and the happy family energy. The world, I have to tell you, I think the economy is like doing funky dunky things. I read at a party last May, and every single last one of the guys that I read was involved in crypto. And I was like, get out of crypto now, please. It's going to crash. And they laughed at me. Like, they were like, okay, sure, the tarot reader. And not like, I'm not trying to be smug at all. It's just that there had to come a point over the summer where they're like, she might have been on something. It's a little bit of like that type of energy, is that like, this is not the month to take a flyer on an investment, is what this is looking like. And if somebody is trying to get you to invest in something, do a lot of due diligence around it, particularly if it's a family member, because what I've got is this kind of shifting energy in a power structure. And again, a power structure, does that mean the government? No, it could mean your work. It could mean your family. It could mean something that has power over you, is what that means. Don't give in to pressure. Cool heads will prevail. Cooler heads will prevail. Weigh things out and do your due diligence on things. Don't do something out of loyalty. Okay. What am I doing here? I'm gonna get some fortune cards. Yeah, 1, 2. This ought to be interesting. There we go. The chaos and conflict. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just not. Cracker. Yeah. Positive energy and surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune awaits. There certainly is like this explosive quality to stuff happening. Yeah. Luck. You are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. Remember, upheaval is just change. It's not catastrophe. Be open to positive changes. Be open to positive changes. Please don't fear change. Change is the only way that things can get better. Like, for real, we need things to change in order for things to get better. Embrace it, go towards it. And here's another reason, because it contains the energy of growth. If you are trying to heal, you are trying to grow. Be open to changes in all areas of your life, in your friendships, in your relationships, and how you view the world. We are never set in stone. Like, when I was like 20 years old, my favorite meal was a steak. And I haven't eaten meat in so long that like I have no idea. Like, I don't even recall how long it's been. And it's not to denigrate that. Sincerely, that was my personal choice, and that's what's right for me. But that's how much we can change over the course of time if we allow ourselves to. You may not have a lot in common with former versions of yourself, and it's not that there was anything wrong with them. It's that was who you were meant to be at that time. And maybe you're meant to start being somebody different as things come to you, as opportunities and the world changes around us. There's always a leadership energy with this one as well. Step forward, speak up, be the voice that carries. If you possess it, don't hesitate to use it. Speak up more. God almighty, speak up more. All right, justice favors you. Brilliant idea. The reason I did that was, it was like, that's the 4th time that's happened where I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I put down the card and it's like, oh, the card's now like echoing me rather than telling me what's going to come up. Let's get your infinity cards. There we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Use your voice. Use your voice. Stand up for what you believe to be right, and always act with kindness, because kindness is the energy of love. If we live in the energy of love, everything gets better for everybody. There we go. Soulmate. Remember, soulmates can be tribe members. They can be friends. We have all kinds of different soulmates. It's not just a romantic concept. It can be a romantic concept. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen that hinted at in this particular pile. It's the energy of air. It's unlikely to have a lot of emotional energy. Open up, speak up more, open up. Self-worth, healing old wounds. I think I was talking about that with releasing old trauma, inner strength, and then I want, oh, stuck and new love. Interesting. Inner strength, stuck, and new love. Sometimes the way we get through things is to know exactly who we are. Don't cling to former versions of yourself if you have outgrown that part of you. Like again, like something I haven't shared a tremendous amount was I had to recover from agoraphobia at one point in my life. Because I had been so like, badly traumatized that when I finally got somewhere safe, I didn't want to leave it. And that took like 3 or 4 years. And like, how'd I force myself to do it? Like I do anything else, I just forced myself to do it. And am I agoraphobic now? No, not at all. Like I go and I travel and do all kinds of things by myself now. But it was by setting like, I set goals that were, I guess reasonable. Set goals that are reasonable to change the things that are holding you back. Release the former versions of yourself. And it's not the same thing as putting them in the ground or like turning your back on them or saying that person is no longer a part of me. There will always be a part of me that like when I really like need some downtime, like, I'm by myself entirely and I really, really like it. I still like to be a very, like, I'm a bit of a, I'm an introvert. I'm an incredibly introverted person and I like to be alone. Yeah. And sometimes I do that to rejuvenate, but I can't like just be alone. Like, if I had won the lottery, I'd have like retreated to the trees and never spoken to another person. And that isn't the thing that was going to utilize like, certain gifts that I came here with the most for the benefit of others versus just me. Play hard. That's rejuvenate energy. Allowing yourself to be adventurous. Longing, someone is secretly yearning for you. Is that interesting? Unavailable, and then lesson. This person is in your life to reach a spirit, to teach you a spiritual lesson. Unplug for me is like one of those cards of stop. That's as many as you've needed, but it's working less will help strengthen your relationship. Sometimes in romantic relationships, we want people for who we think they are versus who they are. And that is something that in a healing journey, you have to overcome, is the desire we get an impression of a person, and sometimes we're focusing on it and we expand on it. And we think that's who the person is when it doesn't actually match up to like what they've done in the 3D. Balance between that. Remember, it's okay to believe that there is a better part of somebody, but don't exclusively believe in it to like blinding yourself to what they've actually done. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't look at the potential of somebody. Keep it in balance. Understand that it's like, well, they could be this person, but so far they are this person. And ultimately I need to be the person who can protect me. Is that it for today? No, I think we're going to take Soul Explorer and then we'll get to the angel answer and the cookie card. Here we go. Re-energize in the natural world. Nature is calling you came out with that as well. And then recognize despair as an opportunity. Within it, you will find the gift of awakening. Hey, one of the things I need to remind you about is that it may not be talking about upcoming despair, but rather to go back and from a greater perspective, take a look at some of the more difficult periods of your life to see what they were talking to you about. Because when we're in the middle of something, it's hard to see the value. When it's behind us, it's very easy to, if we step outside of our feelings about the pain, because once pain is past, it is past. Allow it to be past and look instead for the lesson of what that incredible grief taught you. Because grief has lessons about what we need to heal in it and what we have healed. And you got 2 different cards of the natural world being important to you. I swear I was talking about how like I love to retreat to trees and things, and I absolutely do. Please remember that that is one of the best things that you can do to help your uncloud your mind. Get to nature. And if you can't get to nature, all over YouTube. The other day, I just watched a walk through the woods, and I think I really did just Google or put in the search engine, walking through the forest. And it was beautiful. And it was absolutely as restorative as, and I didn't feel well. So I was like, I have to watch it from here. remember, there are always to connect to different energies. And if you can get outside, please do, because nature is very, very healing indeed. Why? Because it's constantly growing and it knows when to rest. Nature does not push things. Nature doesn't push things. It has seasons and it respects it. Please respect your need to have cycles in your own energy as well. All right, ask your angels. That's your angel answer, is ask your angels. Cheaters. Let's get another angel answer card for you, huh? This is where I can try to out stubborn spirit guides, and I'm sure they're up there like rolling their eyes going, that means they're supposed to. Well, I'm going to too. In the near future, peaceful resolution. So we had a bunch of conflict cards, and in the near future, peaceful resolution. I'll find where all those cards went because there's multiple ones on the floor. I have intuition. Trust your intuition. It's a great time to learn a new skill, change careers, or invest money. It's not a great time to invest money, is what that was looking at. So be careful. And they ask your angels, and the nature card, they really are asking you to, please, if you don't meditate well, if you think it's the most boring thing in the world, go take a walk in the woods. It does almost the exact same thing. Get into the practice that fits your particular needs. Don't feel like you have to be a lemming with everything. Don't think you have to do exactly what somebody else does. The way I do almost everything is very self-styled, because we are all truly individuals, and particularly people who are leaders, group number 4, you got multiple use your voice, speak up more type of energies. Maybe you're meant to do things differently and you're not meant to be like everybody else, because that happens too. All right, so that was the Spirit Guide monthly for December. I'm going to see you for January of 2023. Take care, be well. Don't forget, I've got daily reads Monday through Friday, and I'm also doing a love draw for December as well. So a daily love draw for those of you who are more interested in the romantic stuff. There'll be one of those as well. Take care, be well. Thanks so much for joining me, and enjoy the month.